take their mouth and take the pen short. They had their gun. I carried a gun all the time.
Oh, did you?
Oh, hell yeah. I could shoot. If they'd touched me, I'd have killed them right away. You're on the alert all the time. You're never relaxed, even in the nighttime. You never know when you're in bed there, and then when they're bombing the hell out of them buildings and people are screaming and hollering, and you never take your clothes off. We had them muddy, laced up shoes. You couldn't get in that straw, slept in straw. I never saw a sheet over there. And them cotton they give us when we were menstruating, it rubbed what they call polyps on my uterus, and they'd fill up with pus and they'd break and bust. And all over my uterus, it was these scars and stuff, and it was giving me trouble. And that uterus was about to fall out, and they went up there and take it out because they was afraid the cancer would be there.
Okay, now tell me, what did you do there in London? You were stationed there in Sherwood Forest there in London. What did you do?
I worked in the Signal Corps.
Signal Corps.
Yeah.
All right. Did you run errands for them?
I done what they told me to do.
Okay.
You can't tell what they tell you to do.
Okay. You had women under you because you were a sergeant.
I didn't pull my rank. I'd rather have friends.
Oh.
I didn't pull my rank, lady.
Okay.
Privates, I treated them, they's a human being. There's a lot of girls that's just a PFC, one strike. A lot of them. They all didn't make it up. You had to be smart, I guess, or something to get up that far. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you that much. You had to be smart in your mind. You never a dull moment.
All right. Were the women abused by the men, the whacks?
No.
Or were they treated nicely?
They all wanted to date you.
Okay.
Wanted to get a date, and well, you wasn't nothing much you could do, or where you could go, because it wasn't nothing. It's a hard life.
All right. You said you met a boy over there. You had a fiance.
Yeah. And he wanted to get married, and I said, no, I'm not gonna. He was a bombardier on a B-17 bomber.
Okay.
And I said, no, I don't want to get married. I was in service, I was waiting to get out. His folks was from around Fresno, California. He went over there, and he's on the third phase. That means a third run of bombing on that B-17 bomber. He was gunner on that. He was a staff sergeant. And on the third mission, he got shot down, the plane did. The Germans shot it down. And the letter come back to me that I'd wrote to him, because he'd wrote to me first. He's missing in action. He killed him. You know, you shut that plane down in the air, and it's not going, it's going to fall, you're going to kill them all. Mm-hmm. Kill them all, the whole crew on that ship.
What was his name, Miss Inez?
Burge Heckerman.
Okay. How did you meet him?
Huh?
How did you meet him?
Well, they give a year or so dance, and we had to go. We was forced to go. When we got down in Moses Lake, Washington, and we was there, and there was a colonel there on the base, just went for me, and he grabbed me and danced with me all the time. And the lieutenant, she was Jew. She didn't like it. I said to her, what else can I do? As I told her. There were 12 girls, only 12 of us. And he came, and Burge did, and asked me to dance. He was a bombardier on that B-17 bomber. And he just liked me, and we started going together, and then we got to get, he wanted to marry, and I said no. That's the way the war was over. And he was going to leave the next day in time. We got a pass and got on the bus and went to Ephrata. That's just a short way, and we had dinner up there, and then we went down the lobby, and we just sat in there and just talked, because he had to go back, he had to get ready, because they went, the next day they flew to Pratt, Kansas, and they got their equipment, and then he went on over, and then he wrote me after I got over there, and I wrote him back, and he got killed on the third mission out of bombing. Okay. They let it come back, his mission in action, and I never did get married then until I was 47 years old, and I married a lawyer.
Okay. But now, while you were over there in London, you were hurt. Tell me that story.
I hurt.
You were hurt in a bombing over there in London. Can you tell me about it?
Well, when we were not on a job, as I was working in that cigarette store, we used to go up to a place they called the Thatch. And in that building, nobody could go in there but women. And then just the working women. And then you went out that door and went outside and went in another door. And there's where the men, no women in there, all men. You come out of there and you went to called the lounge. Went through another door. There they had a piano player in there, and there's the women and men both in there, drinking beer or what it was, or you could dance in there. And we'd walk up the hill from where we was bivouacked at and go up there in the evening just to get out of the barracks. And we still, you had to be get to be a pretty good thief. Because we stole food. You're hungry all the time. That food, what you got, didn't do you no good. They'd cook potatoes in the orange kettle outside. They didn't even peel them. And maybe that'd be dirt, holes in them potatoes. And you eat out of a mess kit. You had to wash it there in a pot. First you washed it out with a brush with the soap. Then you washed it and rinsed it another. And then you rinsed it in another. When I don't know what they had, some kind of chemicals in there that your own mess kit, you had to take care of it yourself. So, and you're hungry all the time. And I went out of fortunes, we called it. We drawed straws. 7 of us girls was all sergeants. We went to this inn, and this old man and old woman was running it, and they had a fireplace. So they drawed straws. Me and another girl had to go in the kitchen. And they had 2 big loaves of bread, black-looking bread. And I stole them, put them under my overcoat, because you had your uniform. Well, it had pants on and boots. And there was a dishpan full of anchovies there, so she took a tablecloth and poured them in there and put them under her coat. We come out the door, and we give them the high sign. There was 5 girls around that old couple. And we went out the door, went over there at that Sherwood Forest and put that tablecloth down with them fish. Nobody had forgot their knives. Well, I said, get back. I jumped on it with them boots, and I stomped it and broke the crust. We just, both of them loads, and you just tear you off a hunk. We was all sitting around there, and the moon sort of come through there, weary like. And I raised up and I looked. I said, listen. Everybody stopped. Said, what's the matter, Sergeant? I said, look at everybody sitting around that tablecloth on the ground in damn snow. We had this chunk of bread, and we had grease around our mouth, and then anchovy fish in this hand, and they just starved you, just like a bunch of starved dogs. Said, what is this? I said, well, look what everybody looks like. Don't ever forget this in your mind. I said, if you ever live to get through this soup, because when we get through one, we got in another mess. And we sat there. I'll never forget it. And when we got through, we got up and we took that tablecloth, rolled it up, went farther in the woods and took a log and rolled it back, put the tablecloth down, put the log down. I had a whistle. My damn whistle's up here, what I used. I blew that whistle, that means to line up. And they lined up, and I said to that first girl, I said, you called the last name, you didn't ever use their first name, Woods or Jones or Smith. I asked the girl, how you feel? She's a sergeant too. Oh, Sergeant Wilber, that's the first time my belly's been full since I left New York. And the tail end of the girl, I asked her the same question. So I said, now, and she said that she was full. You were hungry all the time. You was hungry. You starved. The food you're getting was doing no good. And I said, well, everybody hang their head and let's all pray and pray out loud. And I said, thank God that tonight we can sleep because we have our stomach full. You can't go to sleep when you're hungry. I know what it's like. You can't tell me nothing about it. And we prayed, and they got in a trail, just a trail through them woods, that forest, and got back with sleeping in tents. And the army cots in them tents, and they leaked. The water was running down through the floor of them. There was no floor, dirt. It was on the side of a hill. It's a wonder anybody ever lived through that. I never dreamed that, well, I almost died. They thought I was going to die, really. You just go and go and go till you just drop up that south. They picked me up and threw me in the ambulance, and they went up there, I don't know how many miles. I come to, I was undressed. They had took my money. I had a money belt. They took my money, all the money I had, and they went through my pocketbook, and they took my earrings and took my wristwatch off my hand. They stole all that stuff. I just don't see how I ever lived to get through.
All right, but when you were hurt in a bombing, what happened?
I got blown through the damn air. The damn bomb hits you. You're running. You don't know, there's trenches around, and you know where they are. And you'd run and jump down in that damn trench and fall down. And when they're bombing you, damn it, you hit the ground. You got your helmet, and you got that gas mask is on you. You carry that with you all the time. And you hit the ground. We was going down, take orders, so I had to go, and I had a driver. And she let another girl go. She wasn't supposed to go. And we were going downtown to deliver these orders. She was the driver of that car, see. I had the orders, had to deliver them. And a bomb come over. She stopped that car, we hit the gutter. And that bomb hit not too far from us. It just cut them buildings off, and there were people dead, laying up in there on the floor and all over. And after you come to your senses, you get up, and in the middle of the street out there's a woman dead, and she had a little baby in her arms, and this baby was crying. And this one girl that went with us, wasn't supposed to go, she got hysteric. She just froze and couldn't move and screaming. And I slapped her with my hand, and on this side and on that side, and took her by the arm. I told that driver to get a hold of her arm, and the bar was there. The door was open, and nobody in that.